you have contributed a lot to the society and the country as well. Either we talk about your contribution in Chandrayaan 2 or your contribution in the nuclear fusion research. So I want to ask you that what are the factors that keep you motivated for doing such work?
So my first philosophy, I was in US at University of California, Berkeley during my PhD days. And Berkeley is considered number one in physics in the world. I came back from there to India right after my PhD. And I took a decision that I would not worry about paper publication and trying to increase the length of my CV, but I'll focus on solving problems of nation and society. So I was probably the first PhD in nuclear fusion from this country. I'll not go into that story. But this focus on solving problems has continued with me till today. And whether it is to help people with disability, whether to help wildlife researchers, whether it is to help in nuclear fusion or Chandrayaan mission, or to develop technology vision 2035 for the country, or to create a completely new computer science curriculum which has changed the country's curriculum across the country last 2 years. All that has been that single focus on solving problems of nation society. That's been my motivating factor, not worrying about returns that I would get out of that.
Okay. Sir, we know that you have received an award for the Visionary Leader of the Year 2000 in 2018. So I want to ask, being the Vice Chancellor of D Y Patil International University, what is your philosophy of leadership? How will you define your leadership style?
So, I'm a person who actually likes to lead from the front. So I'm right where I need to be. I'm not somebody who gives orders to others. I do it so others can follow by my example. So I've done that my whole life. And part of that I would want to share with the audience is that from childhood at the age of 10, I joined a school called Netarhat School. It's near Ranchi. It's a Gurukul style school. We used to live in ashram. My ashram's name was the Nalanda ashram. And we used to work with hands. We'll clean dishes, clean toilets, clean floors. That was the kind of training I had from childhood. So that built dignity of labor in our thought process and made sure that nothing is dirty for us. And that has meant that anything that is needed, as a project leader of nuclear fusion reactor, I became at age of 35, largest fusion reactor in Gandhinagar. I used to spend time along with my technical system, tightening nut bolts and so on. I did not have to do that, but I wanted to set an example that I am as close to them, and so they are feeling motivated. So I always like to lead from the front, and I don't leave it to others to and give orders to them. So I always participate with them. It's a very friendly environment that I create wherever I am.
Yes, sir. Sir, my third question is, we all know that the education system in India is very different from the foreign countries. So I want to ask that how can an inbound student, a foreign student, gain something extra from your university?
So, fortunately, my own education has been in good place in India. Starting from my school days, which was a leading school, Gurukul style school. Then I went to IIT Kharagpur, to Delhi University. Then I went to University of California, Berkeley. When I came back, I was in National Labs. Then I was joined D Y Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Gandhi, that was set up by Reliance Group. Then I was heading India's technology think tank, and now I'm the founder, vice chancellor of this university. I've seen the world. And the best place practices in India and abroad. What I've done is that I've tried to bring that in my university. So it's not only international by name, but it's international practices. I remember in Gandhinagar, I had a student who came from France. She came for a semester and she didn't understand English so well, but she could manage. I used to give her the slides before the actual lecture would start, one day in advance, so that she could look into dictionary and find out the meanings before she attended. And she told me that she was learning better than what she was being taught in France. And so what I found is that by proper curriculum, work culture, faculty motivation, we can set examples for others. I would like to share with the audience that number of people who work within Gandhinagar, and why I'm taking example of Gandhinagar is because right now my university is new, so not many people, students have graduated. People who work in my lab, some of them stayed back for a year before they went to do PhD and so on. They told me later on that when they went from India to US, they found that what they were doing with me was of higher standard than what they were doing in US. So always they have to ask me this question that if they had to do something new, they'll first ask me whether I've tried something already. Because they wanted to learn from me. So because of internet today, the gap in information, whether it's US, Germany, or India, is no longer there. You have the same information. And due to that, actually, we have large talent pool. I've found undergraduate students are very, very productive. They have very less time, but they can do wonders. So I'm dependent on undergraduate students participating in research. That's a game changer. So even if a student, somebody comes from outside, they'll find that they will gain, even if they come from US or Germany, does not matter. I'm not talking of only developing countries. So they will find that there is something new for them to learn. Because, for example, the computer science engineering curriculum I've set, it's become a trendsetter. I believe that there's no other curriculum in the world that meets that kind of requirement. And similarly, I remember in Gandhinagar, I set up a set of courses related to sensor network, which became worldwide popular. We are the best in the world. So I'm not even targeting developing countries. I'm saying that the best countries in the world, if you look at education like US, Europe, are considered best. We always have something to give to them as well. So I'm sure that the students who come back, for international students who come from any country, it does not matter. They would find something benefit.
Okay. Sir, my next question is, how does the curriculum of D Y Patil International University ensures the best practice of the industry?
So I would like to modify this question a little bit. Actually, academia has to lead industry. This is always the question that we ask in India, is that how you can, actually academia has to set the best standards. And why we ask this question, wrong question in India always, is that because we don't develop technology, we borrow technology from elsewhere. That industry borrows and then we say that, okay, academia should learn. Actually, technology should be developed in academia, industry comes later on. This is the practice. So just to give an example, today, about 4 or 5 months back, we received requests from Silicon Valley nuclear fusion project in India. Whole country, there's only one national lab supported by government, Institute of Plasma Research in Gandhinagar, where I was also there, which is working on nuclear fusion. No other university, no other organization, no private industry is working on this. But today we have started this project in my university under my leadership. So we are now connected to the world. We are working on the toughest problem of the century in our university. So we are actually leading the industry and not trying to follow them. It's the industry that is going to follow us. That's the game change that we have done. The university is setting up R&D center in our campus. Nuclear fusion they have set up. I'm mentoring that. We're trying to solve chronic health problems. That also I'm mentoring. There are people from Silicon Valley, they're investing in this. My faculty member, my students are going to participate. Similarly, we are going to work on a number of projects. In fact, I'm very happy to inform you that almost every single day I'm getting requests from an international entity to set up a R&D center in my university. Yesterday also I had discussion, therefore yesterday also I had discussion, tomorrow also I have discussion. So I'm setting a new trend for the country where actually academia leads the industry and industry learns from us. That's the change that I brought.
Okay, that's great, sir. So my next question is, what do you think should be institute top priority over the next 5 years or 10 years?
So I was heading India's technology think tank. I was responsible for the document, the Technology Vision 2035. I'd just like to flash that document to the audience, Technology Vision 2035. So actually, this document, as I was heading India's technology think tank, TIFAC in Delhi from 2013-18, we prepared this. Fortunately, Prime Minister wrote the foreword to this document and launched it, as well as directed all the ministries and government departments to follow this document. And Niti Aayog was given the responsibility to coordinate all of this. What we realized that when we were developing this document was that technology is changing much faster than we expect. Technology diffusion is also happening at much faster pace. This also means technology obsolescence is very high. So what I've done is that today, a student who comes into, let's say, a 4-year computer science engineering program, when he joins in the first semester, by the time he or she graduates, the technology might have changed. So I created a very flexible curriculum which will always remain in tune with the technological changes that are happening. It's a multi-track specialization system that I've created. And that means it has a flexibility that next 5 to 10 years, the technology is going to definitely change. We can't even imagine what kind of technology is going to happen in 10 years from now. Even though I'm a person who is supposed to be a person who can see future. I'm a person who practices foresight. But even then, you will miss out things you may not be able to see. So my curriculum has been designed in a way that it can be very quickly upgraded midway. So in fact, AICT has given us appreciation letter exactly saying the same thing, and they've tried to follow some of this. So I've created a curriculum, a system in the university, multi-track system, which makes sure that whether it's next 5 years or 10 years, our curriculum always remains ahead in the game, and the students learn the latest thing that is happening because we have that flexibility in the system. And so I will make sure the system will actually sustain, and next 5 to 10 years, I don't have any problem in ensuring that we become one of the better known universities in the world. And we don't have too much resources, but I'm happy to say that, in fact, just on 19th March, I was in Delhi to receive the Best Innovation Award in the private university and deemed university category for our this curriculum, innovative curriculum. And the jury members were AIC chairman himself, and Dr. Saswuddhe, AIU General Secretary, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, and Dr. Prem Singh, who is looking after higher education in Niti Aayog. So they're a very credible team of things given this award in recognition of what we are doing. So I'm believing that very shortly, in next 5 to 10 years, we would be well known. And as I'm already saying that we are working toughest problems that world has to solve in this century, like nuclear fusion, and we have started from my university. So I'm believing that very quickly we'll become the game changer of the country without having government support, without having a big financial house to support the university. This is all because of the way we are trying to create the system, the work culture, the innovation system that we are creating.
Congratulations for achieving such a reputed award, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, moving on to the next part. When you first became a part of a D Y Patil International University, what was your vision for the university?
So, I'll go back to this document, Technology Vision 2035 again. When we were preparing this document was being supported by 12 roadmaps in different sectors. And while they're separate documents, so a main vision document is there and then 12 roadmaps, we put a little booklet in the main document called Technoscape. And out of the 12 sectors, different sectors, I had put education right on the top. Education was right on the top because I felt that progress for the country, education is the key to this. So I had put right on the top. You've seen the document, you find education right on the top. So I wanted to come back to an university because of this reason. I did not want to go to a government university because of the lot of bureaucratic issues that are there. I will not will take decisions fast. So I wanted to come to a private university, and especially in a place where I can be the founder vice chancellor. Because once a system has been set, it's very difficult to change it. But when you start from beginning, it's like your baby. You are molding the baby in your way. So I was happy to join this university, which was just got a go-ahead from government on March 14, 2018. And my tenure got over in Delhi on 24th April 2018. 25th April, I was here in the university. So almost from beginning, I've been here. So I've shaped this university with my own hands, with my own imagination. And today, I'm happy that we are able to make changes in the education sector. Not that I'm in a government position like UGC or AICT, but by setting examples that has led to change across the country. So my goal was to actually move towards realizing Technology Vision 2035 for the country and university. I'm very happy to say that university is playing an important role in this, not only by setting education standard, but also working in energy sector, by health sector. And yesterday we have received requests to work in climate sector also. These are all work at the highest level of the global standard that we have.
Okay. What do you see as DY Patil University's greatest strength?
So our greatest strength is first, D Y Patil Group has a long-standing legacy of almost 35 years. 37 years. 1984, the first college was set up, which is right now part of our campus, D Y Patil College of Engineering. Earlier, it was in a nearby campus. So then 2001, it shifted to a new campus, which has more space. Within the D Y Patil group, there are more than 100,000 students who study. There are more than 150 institutions under that umbrella. Of course, each campus of D Y Patil run by different family members, but the focus has been on quality education. And we have campuses in Pune, in Kolhapur, in Navi Mumbai. You might have even heard of D Y Patil Stadium that was used for IPL games. So all of this whole large group is there, but each campus is on its own. Each has to find its own resources, it has to find its own students, and that's a challenge. So we compete with each other and we cooperate with each other. So D Y Patil Group stands for quality education, and we are happy to be part of that. And I'm happy that today the university, which is new, only 3 years old, has been able to set very high standards for the country and be responsible for changing not only the education system, but taking up very pressing problems of energy, climate, and health.
Okay. What would you like people to know about your university they might now not know?
So we are not a university which is trying to follow a system that is established by somebody else. We have created a system because of needs of today's world. COVID has even established that fact very well, that we need to be able to do things in different way, to be able to quickly innovate, to quickly make ourselves change the way we operate. All of us have had to change ourselves. But I had set the system right from beginning. So D Y Patil International University stands for not being a follower of the crowd, but being the leader of the crowd. So we have set a standards of leading the education system, and the others are following us. And this is so much true. I'm not just telling you because you've asked me this question, but you can see the AICT precisely later. AICT formed a committee, which I was a member, to revamp computer science curriculum. Today, I'm also chairing National Steering Committee of AICT to set up Idea Labs across the country. So many things that we have done, actually, we have become the leaders in the country. We're not followers. We don't want to follow the crowd. We want to set the standards. Others will follow. And that's what D Y Patil International University in Akudi campus of Pune would be known. As there are many campuses, I want to emphasize that we are in Akudi campus of Pune. Thank you.
Okay. So moving on to the last question. Any suggestion or message you want to give to the current youths?
So this is a standard suggestion that I've given to any time I've had this opportunity, is that when we were growing up, our opportunities were limited. But today, whether you want to be a singer, whether you want to be a writer, whether you want to be a poet, opportunities are there. So I always say that follow your passion. Don't get bogged down by being that you should become an engineer or doctor. Follow your passion and be the best in whatever you do. You should not be second class in anything. You have to, if you want to be a poet, be the best in the world. If you want to be a singer, be in the best. If you want to be a painter, be in the best in the world. Don't take second position as something accepted. Try to the best in the field, and you have enough to learn. In my time, even people like Sunil Gavaskar and so on could not sustain themselves on cricket playing, even though they were best at their time. Today, even a cricket player earns so much more just by playing cricket. So, single message to young people: follow your passion. Don't worry about what others will say. Be yourself. Follow yourself. Thank you.